Imagine all the things you love. Your riches were flushed away by the sea. How would you feel if nature's power washed everything you've worked for all your life away? What is the appropriate response? Would you become angry, sad? Do you believe that life has betrayed you? These will all be typical responses for most people, but not for Zeno, the founder of Stoicism. He believed one small shift in your perspective can lead to later more significant and more impactful changes. Today, a popular misconception about Stoics as people who are unbreakable, don't frequently go to extremes with their emotions, and don't experience things like rage or anxiety. However, the underlying principle of Stoicism was much more than that. Stoicism was a way of seeing, describing, and comprehending the world, not just a way to label emotionless people. It was a way of life, and it has persisted for many years. The benefits of Stoic philosophy are still relevant today as they were when it was first applied thousands of years ago. Stoicism enables us to transform these negative feelings brought on by unpleasant experiences into thoughts that give us a unique perspective of the world. The core of Stoicism is the very definition of focusing on what is within our control and accepting what is not. Some of the most famous Stoics in history are Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and one of history's most powerful men, Seneca, a well-known statesman, and Epictetus, whose name means acquired because he was once a slave. The early Stoics led the charge against inequality and avoided all forms of segregation, living what they preached. The Stoics advocate learning to differentiate between the things we can control and the things we cannot. We must base our judgment of ourselves on the things we can control rather than the external factors. Even though creating YouTube videos is much simpler than ruling Rome, it can prove to be difficult. To create a video, you must first write a script, create the video, edit it, create the thumbnail, set a title, and everything else before hitting the upload button. This process takes a long time to complete. You are solely responsible for all actions up until this point at which you click upload. However, once you press the upload button, the YouTube algorithm gains control. Even so, a lot of people use the number of views, subscribers, and followers to determine the success of the channel, although for the most part, it is beyond their control. Although we might not always be able to influence the events that have an impact on us, we can always choose how we react. The Stoic strives to deal with the world as it is while improving oneself through the four core virtues: justice, practical wisdom, temperance, and courage. Justice is the practice of treating others fairly even when they have acted wrongly. Practical wisdom is the ability to navigate complex situations in a logical, informed, and calm manner. Temperance is the exercise of self-restraint and moderation in all aspects of life. Courage is the capacity to face challenges on a daily basis with clarity and integrity. One of the most well-known African leaders in the world was Nelson Mandela. He was given a life sentence while fighting against racial discrimination, and he served 27 years in prison before being freed. Many people believed he would brutally punish everyone who had anything to do with his imprisonment when he was freed from prison and later elected president of South Africa. But he did not. Mandela read Marcus Aurelius' writings while he was imprisoned and became familiar with many of the Stoic ideas, which he carried with him throughout his life. Instead, Nelson Mandela urged his people to relax and rebuild. He emphasized that they could no longer change the past and that their only option was to forge ahead and create a better country. This is the way of the Stoic. The philosophy of Stoicism has endured the test of time and has influenced philosophers for centuries. It installs in us the value of accepting the things we cannot change, focusing on the things we can, and living meaningful lives. The Stoic philosophy encourages people to maintain a peaceful and contented state of mind, even in the face of difficulty. It places a strong emphasis on self-control, reason, and wisdom. Ultimately, we can use the principles of Stoicism in our everyday lives to overcome obstacles and discover meaning and purpose.